So how would you deal with this? This is a tough one. Ready? You're looking at GA to go short, and you think you might get a short entry, but then you hear me and other people saying, I want to buy GJ. How do you deal with that mentally? How do you decide what to do? You personally?
Because I just really was looking at GA as more of a trade idea. And
got it. From the jump, you
know,
never really loved it.
I never loved it. And
got it.
For me, coming into the week, like I said in the beginning, I was trying to get away from these C setups that aren't worth your money. There's some C setups that are worth your money, but this C setup was definitely not. So for me, it was just an idea that I was going to mark up, you know, and play it out and see, you know, where it was at. But GJ having the perfect liquid 50 and the EMAs were better, I just was a better probability on the setup. So that was why I was looking at that as well.
Exactly. So on GJ, I have my, I can show this is my P&L. So you can see I got most of it out here at 17 pips and then 20 pips. And then I just got bumped on the rest of it as it came back down and tapped me out right here. So overall, I think you and I and everybody in the group handled this trade really well, because what ended up happening was we see it pull back to the significant level. You went through all the GBP pairs. You have a GBP pair long bias in this situation. So then we're taking it down to the 1 minute to find our setup, to find our entry. And in here, you get clear divergence. Price is falling as that RSI is rising. And it's set up so nicely for us. I mean, everybody had time if they wanted to see it break. Yeah, you saw it break. You saw it retest once here, and then even again here. So you could have added twice, in my opinion. That's how I made it.
Well, I got in the last retest.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you're getting that. Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. That's where you get that pull. And I think that's the move. And you're looking for it at that point to go to target. You have to keep the target in mind. As much as we want to exceed target and go to high a day and go shoot to the moon, go to ADR, it doesn't do that all the time. No. So you have to keep the divergence in check. And this starts on the RSI. I drew it from the RSI high here to the price action high here. And again, just look what it did. Like, why would we think look what it did last time it came? It pinned the divergence, came off it. We're trading up to it. Why do we think that this is going to be the time it breaks? That's foolish. You should be majority out of the trade at that point and then lock it. Because if you don't, when it does this, for whatever reason it's turning around, you got to deal with the pain and give back some of the win. And that's where I think a lot of people also run dry. That's not the way to trade. Get in, lock it, and then move on. Like I said already, I traded 20 minutes. Look at the P&L. Like, most of the trade was closed within.
I know, it was so quick.
Both that and all week you saw I've been sitting here just waiting, and then it's like when an entry lines up, you really, I think, have to be ready to take it and put the market in play. So do you have any tips that you could give everybody to differentiate trade ideas versus trades that are worth your money? Is it strictly the grade of the trade? Because I don't know if that's the easiest way to do it, but I wanted your opinion on that. How are you being more selective?
I am probably as you know, I like to keep my higher time frames in favor with me and trade the overall trend of the market.
Yes.
So that is how I really have been differentiating my trade ideas and my setups, the ones that I'm executing. I really am trying to keep it all in line, because I think that's where you're getting the high probability setups and the ones that run for you, that don't have the divergence on top or on the bottom when you're executing them. So I think for me, and for MD, watching this, it is about, don't forget about your higher time frames. Definitely check them out for your analysis, and then make sure your 15 minutes lining up.
If we look at the daily time frame on EuroCAD, and I was buying this last week. Remember, my last trade was a week ago today when I first got settled in Florida. It was Wednesday. It was my first day back, and we hit EuroCAD for a quick A1 sheet candle. That was back here on like the 7th or the 8th. And since then, on the daily, the TDI, it's in the buy zone, and price has been holding the 8. Long bias, like you said. Now let's line it all up. 4 hour. Look at that TDI. Long bias. Very clear EMAs. And look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour actually had an entry back here on Monday. So all week, you're going to be long bias because of that A1. Yeah. So it's like you had every time frame in your favor when you were trading this on Monday, and on Tuesday, and it started, I think, across the board for the euro pairs on Monday. You saw Euro USD pick up, the dollar index come down, and then, like you said, if you can line up the higher time frame technical stuff with solid fundamentals where you like see the dollar struggling and things like that around the world, then it's a no-brainer.